Hello, my lovelies. How are you? Happy Tuesday. The sun is out. It feels like spring. I'm very happy. Very happy. Oh, are we on the right one? No, we're not. We're over here. You going to talk to me over here? Maybe not. I've no idea what happened there. I forgot that they're the wrong way round, didn't I? Still haven't managed to work out how to change them around, and I haven't seen Drew. So yeah, forgot that bit. Hello, my loves. I hope you're all okay anyway. And I hope you had a lush weekend. I had a really nice weekend actually. I got loads done. Saw Sean yesterday as well. We had a bit of a staff meeting, which is really good. We got all that sorted. But I'm very much liking the fact the sun is out and it feels like spring is on the way. So, say hello if you're there, my lovelies. Hopefully you all are. We're going to have a little go at half hexes today, but we're going to do some bordered ones. You might be able to see just in the background there what I'm doing. This is a quilt that I'm doing for Alex. So my boys are proper little geeks. They are hugely into Dungeons and Dragons, and they play a lot and everything. And I found Dungeons and Dragons fabric from the quilt shop, from Laura and Tom at the quilt shop, and ordered them some. I'm gonna have to order more because he wants a bigger quilt. But because they're all about hexes and dice and everything, I thought I'd have a little go at play with this pattern. And then I thought, well, this would be a really nice one to show you guys. So I'm going to show you guys. So let's say hello to some people first. Who's coming online? So hi Nikki, hi Carol, hi Kate, hi Jane, hi Anne, hello Taryn, hi Lynn, hello Natalie. Oh, lots and lots of you coming online. Hello, my darlings. Hopefully you're all enjoying the sunshine too, because it's still a little chilly, but it does, you can feel that warmth. Makes me so happy. So yeah, you kept us really crazy busy. I did that flash sale. You're just here for a few minutes. Oh, that's okay, darling, no problem. Hi Carolyn, hello Ollie and Jake too. Hello, darlings. Hi Eileen. And hi Jean as well. Oh, lots of you coming online today. Lovely. You kept us very busy. Sarah and I wasn't supposed to be working Saturday, but when the orders started coming through with that clearance sale, oh my goodness, I was like, I can't leave it all to Sarah, can I? So yes, we worked for a lot longer than we should do on Saturday, and we are ploughing through more orders today as well. So yeah, you certainly took advantage of that clearance sale, which was amazing. Thank you very much. There is going to be an Easter sale, okay? So there is a code which Sean has sent out on a newsletter. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. She sent it out on the newsletter, and we will post it on our Facebook as well. There will be a code which is valid all over the Easter weekend, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, which is basically 15% off everything in the shop. Okay, so whether it's a layer cake, whether it's brand new fabric that came in today, whether it's the clearance, anything, charm packs, haberdashery, rulers, if you always fancied a shape cut and you've never, treated yourself to one, that'll have 15% off. There'll be a code that goes out. Thank you, Jackie. Sorry, it's I quickly got rid of all the dust in my silly nose. It's made me sneezy now. You love a flash sale, I know. I'm a bit naughty for one really, but now and then I'm just like, I need to get rid of some of that. Let's do a discount. So we're going to have a look at half hexes. So I'm going to go to the overhead. You've kind of seen them behind me put together, but this is brilliant if you've got a layer cake you want to use up, because I'm using the 10-inch half hexi ruler. So we've got these on our website. Craft UK make them for us. They come with a little insert as well, which actually gives you a 5-inch as well, which is perfect for using with a charm pack. Okay, so this will work with the charm, this will work with a layer. So you can do this little method any way you like, basically, any size you like. But so this was some of the Dungeons and Dragons fabric that Alex really wanted me to make him a quilt out of, and because it's this the D20s, which are the 20-sided dice, they look like a little hexagon. So I was like, I need to do a quilt pattern with a hexi. So this is what we're doing. We're going to do. So I've already cut out some in this colour, and then I need to make some in this colour as well. So all I've done is choose a border fabric which goes with, you could use a layer cake. Like I said, I'm cutting this out of stash, but you could use a layer cake. So choose a nice border fabric, and I would choose 2 different borders. It gives it a really nice effect. Okay, so we're going to cut out the rest of these ones. So just line that up. Now I'm cutting 4 at a time. You don't need to do that if you don't want to. You can absolutely cut them, you know, 1 at a time if you want. But I've got a lot of these to make this quilt, so I am cutting 4 at a time. How else is everyone? Hi Grace, how are you, my darling? We had Janet come in earlier to the shop. Sonia's coming in later as well. So just lined up. The nice thing about these templates as well is if you're fussy cutting, you can do this, but they work perfectly with a layer cake, this template. And I'm just going to cut round. Okay, so I'm cutting all the way around the 3 sides like that. I can get another one out of this piece here. Cut that little straight bit as well. It's there and there. And then I'm going to cut down that bit. Get rid of that. That'll be the next lot. And then I can't move myself. Normally I would move myself, but this is, I'm going to realign my template up, the ruler up, and go across the bottom like that. Okay. There we go. So I cut 4 of those lovely half hexes. All right. We're going to border one. I'm just going to show you how to border one and then the different ways you can put these together. You can also do more than one border with this method. It's really nice and easy. Again, you can choose what size border. I've gone with 2.5 inches on these, but you could do a 1.5 and then a 2.5, which looks really interesting. You could go 2.5, 4.5 if you want to make really big hexes. Entirely up to you. So again, Alex chose the colours, so we're going with this beautiful like turquoisey colour with against this, which I think works really, really well. It brightens it as well, and I actually really like the turquoise and the purple together, and I'm not a purple girl. So I'm going to cut a 2.5 inch strip of this like that. Hi Cheryl. Your package is all done, my darling, and in a back bag, and it's going to have to go by Hermes because it's quite a chunky package. So I will we'll get that in the post today for you, to the courier today. I'm not going to cut this into sizes. We're going to work off the full strip. It's a lot easier because there's some funny little angles that go on with this. Much easier to cut off the full strip. Okay, so over we go to the machine. Hopefully we're over here now, darlings. I have got a 1/4 inch foot in. I've got a navy thread in. I'm going to leave it in so that you can see what I'm doing. All right. I'm going to lay my strip down first, my border strip down first. And we're going to go down one of the side pieces first of all. Now you don't want to go right close to the edge like that, okay? Because when we flip it out, you might not have the angle. You need to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room. So I'm just going to come down maybe 1.5 inches on that and line up those raw edges so they're right sides together. Okay, and stitch those down. So once you've done one, you can absolutely chain piece them. They're really quick then. Hi Karen, how are you, lovely? There we go, all the way down like that. And if your 1/4 inch is right, you should be coming off this little point here. Okay, so cut my thread. Now, like I said, when I'm making lots of them, I would lie the next one down and I'd leave myself a good sort of 1 inch or so gap, or 1.5 inch gap, and then put my next one down and do all the short sides, but we're going to just do one for now. So back over here, grab my ironing board and little iron. Oh, here we go. And then we're going to press this out, okay? And I like to press them. I started pressing them towards the border strip and they were a bit of a pain. So then I changed to pressing it towards the half hexie, and that definitely worked better. Okay, so finger press it first, particularly if you're chain piecing them, and then just give that a press. Now I did starch the bejesus out of my fabric with some Starch Savvy before I started. It's worth doing that, okay? Definitely worth doing that. And then we're going to trim this down. Okay, so you can see we've got some funny old angles happening here, which is why you're going to sew on the straight strip. Can't get my teeth in. Straight strip. And then cut down afterwards. So I'm going to use this edge here of the hexie along the top. I'm going to line my ruler up like that and just trim off this excess here. Okay, so off like that. And I'm going to turn it And we're going to do exactly the same on the bottom. The two side ones are actually slightly easier angles than the top one. So I'm going to get that one on like that and take off that bit there. Okay, so I've just lined up my ruler with the two side bits, cut down, and you've got that nice first border there. All right, we're going to go around like this rather than do the two sides and then the top. It just worked better. I did that originally and then I was just like, didn't work as well. So I'm going to go along the top and then down. Just seemed to work better for me. So we're going to go back over to the machine and we're going to sew that one on like that. Okay. Again, you need to leave yourself a little bit because this is going to go over like that eventually. Make sure that you're not, you know, you've given yourself some wiggle room. So back over we go. Oh, hang on. I got a funny notice come up. Let me just get rid of that. Hi Patricia, how are you, lovely? Oh, stupid things, go away. There we go. I know it's lush to see the sun, isn't it? Oh, it's driving me potty, these things. Hi Marion, how are you, lovely? So again, I'm going to put that strip down like that. And if you're putting the strip down, make sure, like, if you've got a lower edge, that that's on the sewing side and you won't accidentally get the angle wrong then. Okay, and then I'm going to again give myself just a weeny bit like that. These are really, really quick to do. Once you've done one and you start like chain piecing them, that little bit that I showed you, I'll show you in a moment properly how when we put them together. Probably took me about an hour. It was really quick to do. The sun's shining by you as well, fantastic. So again, stitch down that one. Back over to here. It's number 2 now, isn't it? There we go. And again, we're going to iron this out. So pull this over, set that seam, set the stitches nicely first, and then I'm going to roll it back towards the fabric there. And when you've got all these funny little angles, before you start cutting, I do like to give it just a finger press, make sure it's all going the right way before we press it. Okay, like that. There we go. So I thought because it's coming up to Easter, we should do a challenge post to run over the Easter weekend. So we are shut between, we're shut on Friday and then we don't reopen till Monday. So that Sarah and I can have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, which is nice. We're going to go day drink. We're going to go for lunch, the 4 of us, the hubbies and everything on Saturday, and day drinking, frankly. So we're shut Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So I thought we'd do a challenge post. We got the little sale running on the website, but challenge post to run over as well. So I want you to show me your Easter stuff. That doesn't have to be sewing or, hang on, let me just come back over here a second. Hi. That doesn't have to be like sewing or yarn or anything like that. It doesn't have to be crafty. What do you do? Do you do an Easter egg hunt? Show me that. Do you do a big family meal? Do you all get together? Do you show me a picture of your favourite Easter egg, or show me your Easter makes? Okay, so I'll put a challenge post up and we'll run it all the way through till next Tuesday. So for a week. I want to see all your Easter inspiration and goodness. Okay, so back over here now. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm just, again, lining up on this short side here, like that. And we're going to cut off this piece here. Like that. And then we want to trim down here. Now this time we obviously want to trim in line with the border. Now, just as an extra little double check, this was 2.5 started. So because I've sewn it in, it's now 2.25. You can line your 2.25 inch line. Can you see, like that, down there? And it's just an extra little double check to get that in. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. You can see how easy this is. Really, really quick and easy. It looks really good. And then last one, we're going to do down that side like that, making sure we go over this border fabric too. So there we go. Back over here. Hopefully we are. We're back over on 4. Yes. Again, put this down with the shorter, the lower bit on the right side, or if that's the way you sew. If you're left-handed and you sew the other way, do it the other way. And then line up right sides together like that. Okay, and here we go. So all the way down like that. Got it. So how have you all been? Have you all got plans for Easter? Has anybody got anything nice happening? Back over to here, my darlings. Oh, I've just dropped my iron on the floor. Create chaos. Create utter chaos. So again, set my stitches like that. And then we're going to roll this one out. So super, super simple. Oh, there's my phone going off. I'm not getting any comments through, so I don't know if you're all talking to me or chatting to me. I really don't know. So, here we go. Like that. And then we can trim this one off. So nice and easy. You could use a jelly roll for this if you wanted to, if you didn't want to have to cut your strips. Again, I've got that 2 1/4 just here on that seam, so that I know that it's a little double check to trim off that bit there. And then I need to trim off on this edge here as well, which is just going to be down like that. You could also, if you've got a 60-degree line on your ruler, you can move that down onto that line, because obviously it's 60-degree lines on a hexie on those bits. So again, that just gives you another little double check. Okay, and there's my little bordered half hexie. Really, really simple to do. Once you've done one, you can then chain piece all the others, which is great. Hi Anne, how are you, my darling? You're having a sewing day with your bestie on Easter Monday. Ah, lush. There's a minibus of all the family off to the Principality Stadium to watch your cousin play in the rugby final. Also some food and alcohol too. Excellent, that sounds amazing. Good luck to your cousin on his match. Sounds brilliant. So you would make as many as you need with these, okay? So if I just come back to the overhead a second, not the overhead, the front facing, which is there. I don't know if you can see behind me. I can't really get it onto the here. I don't know if you can see behind me. So this is what I'm doing with mine for Alex, okay? So I'm mixing and matching them. So I'm going to show you how to put together one of these strips, okay, because I've squared them off, so we've got half ones on the bottom, and I'm actually then alternating them so that they're facing each other, the hexes, with this little navy strip in between. You can do what you want with how you put these together, but we'll go through a couple of options on how you can put them together, okay? But you could add more fabrics in if you wanted to, but I'm just using these ones. Natalie, there's an Easter Sunday craft fair near Lincoln. You might go and have a look around. Nice, if you're feeling better and have some energy. Oh, fingers crossed, honey. And Taryn in the air then. Monday with Anne. Oh, that's lush. That's lush. Right, okay, so you'd make as many as you needed, okay? So for my quilt, I'm going to need 3 of these. I haven't got 3 made at the moment. I've got to do those ones. And you're going to need 3 of these ones as well. You're going to keep 2 of them whole, okay? And you're going to need 1 of them in half, so for the top and bottom, all right? But there is a trick of putting them together. So 1, 2. So you need 3 of each half hexes. Before I start cutting these, so I'm putting them together so that eventually they'll look like that, okay, as a hexagon, but with a little sashing in between. I'm using a 1.5 inch sashing, but you don't have to do that. You could absolutely put your rows together so that they create full hexes. You could put your rows together so they create half hexes like that. So they're your alternate ones. My brain is not working and my mouth is not working today. And then I would probably, with these ones, because we're going to put them together in strips and then sew the strips together. So you could alternate like that. Okay, so you can see you'd have those. And then this one over here, when you put your next row on, would be another one. I think if you're, I don't know if that's actually, if you can actually see that okay, whether I need to go back at all. But you can put them together in any sort of configuration. You can make them full hexes. You can put sashing in between them like this, you know, all sorts of things, okay? Have a little play around with it. But when you're putting them together in a strip, there is a little trick with it. So you do want to put them together like this, so you haven't got any Y seams. So you're going to alternate them back up and down, up and down. When we sew these together, Okay, so I'm going to put them right, the first two right sides together. If you just line up that seam like that and stitch down, they will be offset. Okay, so if I imagine that's your 1/4 inch like that, don't know if you can see, they'll be offset. You'll have too much up here and not enough down here. You're not going to get a nice, neat straight line. So you need to offset them a little bit. You want to offset them by about 1/4 inch, so you can see about 1/4 inch of the underneath fabric poking out. Like that. Oh, I've gone a little bit too much. Showing you a little bit too much, and then we're going to stitch down here. Okay, that means by doing that little offset thing, when we open this out, it's going to be a nice straight line. So over to the machine we go. I'm going to stitch this one down. So there was quite a few different tutorials for this. I saw the one for man sewing, which was quite good, but I don't think he gave enough information, to be honest. But there was lots and lots of variations of these little bordered ones. Is there a template for this? Marion, I believe there is a paper template on our website for this. But if you've got our 10-inch half hexi ruler, that's what I'm actually using. We've got a ruler for it, but I think there is a paper template as well. I will double check that there's a paper template, but there is definitely a ruler for it, which I'll show you again now when I go over here. So, got back over here, and you can see that I was a little bit out. See, that was because I was talking and reading your comments. I didn't go quite far enough. I will actually unpick that one and move it down. You want it to be that 1/4 inch, but I'm not going to unpick it now. I'm just going to iron this out, and I again just iron it towards the darker fabric. But make sure you've got that little offset bit. You can measure it if you want to. After you've done a few, it's a lot easier. Hey Lindy Lou, you having some retail therapy with your daughter? Ah, lush. Enjoy, my darling. You've got a nice day for it, okay? And then you'd add your next one on like this. So you'd add that one on and again offset it. So you're going to offset it by about 1/4 inch. If you've got it right, the offset, your needle should come out right on that little cross there. Okay, where you can sort of see the purple fabric ends, it should come out there. You can measure it if you want to make sure you've got it right. Okay, good for scrap fabrics. Yes, it would be lovely for scrap fabrics, Marion. Yeah, absolutely. Or a layer cake. This is brilliant for a layer cake or a charm pack. Okay, so add that one on and then flip that one out. And you would make it as long as you wanted to that way. You would then make one exactly the same, and then you could add in a little strip of fabric, a sashing strip if you wanted to. You don't have to though, okay? But that's what I did. Hang on, let me just go back over here. Oh, I'm in the way, aren't I? Hang on. That's what I did with this one, okay? Is I just did them long strips. The ends, which are these bits here, okay, those bits there, are just one of the half hexes cut in half. So I literally just cut it in half, fold it in half, folded one in half like that, pressed in a seam, and then cut down, and you just add those on either end, okay, and you make your strips. This would also look really lovely, I think, if you do a second border. So there's nothing stopping you adding a second border on in exactly the same method. They'd make really beautiful placemats then. They'd make like hexy placemats with, like, if you've got some layer cake squares left over, you could put another border on and then another border on that one, add a little bit of sashing in between, maybe in the outside border colour. How funky would those placemats look? I think they'd look really lovely. Be beautiful out in the garden and all now, wouldn't they? So yeah, say if I did a navy border all the way round, both of these, and then I would join them together with a little navy sash in, I think they'd look really fantastic, really, really lovely. So quite a quick and simple one today. Marion, this was the ruler that I'm using, the 10-inch half hexagon ruler. It comes with, make sure you pick the one if you want the smaller one, because there are two versions. One's got a diamond in it, and the other one has got, that sits in the middle there. They come together so that you can you could do exactly the same with 5-inch squares. Okay, so you could make like a beautiful table runner or something, or cushion to match with the 5-inch squares. So they are on our website, but I think if you look on our website, there is a paper template for a 10-inch half hexi as well, if you don't want to buy the ruler. So that's it today, my darlings. Really, really quick, really easy to do. Oh, I've all gone a bit skew with as well, haven't I? The whole thing's moved. Oh well, never mind. I'll have to just be like that. Got block of the week tomorrow, and then Sarah's back on Thursday. I am working on a Quilt She Go as well. I'm hoping to be able to announce that in maybe the next couple of weeks, so that we can, not a Quilt She Go. Yeah, it will be a quilt along. It will be a Quilt She Go, absolutely. A quilt She Go. Quilt She Go is joining it. A quilt along. Oh my goodness. A quilt along is what I'm trying to say. My brain is not working today at all. It's really not. Never mind. I'll pop a challenge post up so that you need buttons, so you call into shop. Oh, lovely. We've just had a massive order of buttons in as well, Marion. So we'll see you then. You all have a quilt along. Brilliant. Yeah, I've been working on something which I think will work really nicely. Yeah, it won't be for a couple of weeks, and probably starting end of May, beginning of June, because I've got to get all the quilt maths right and actually make one, make sure it works. But in my head, on paper, it works. So we will. I'll see you tomorrow for block of the week. Challenge post will be going up soon. Take care. Bye.